Hey everybody, it's Andy from Pure Polish. So we've got some extra time, um, staying at home, doing a lot of shoe polishing, making some products, and I want of you guys' questions. So I'm recording it on my computer. I've got it live streaming right here. Hi Pete, good to see you, buddy. Um, we I've got 3 stages of mirror shining on shoes. People often ask, how do you get a mirror shine? I like to talk about typical leather care, um, but often it's good to address like what is the end goal. All sorts of friends are joining. This is great. I guess everybody's home today. So I wanted to show 3 stages. We've got these I did the other day. These churches. They're old, custom grade. But this is the mirror shine end result. Some of you have seen some of the pictures on my profile. What you're looking for as an end result is, when you touch it with your finger, it feels like you're rubbing across glass. There's no streaking. When I fog it up, I don't see the grain underneath. It doesn't have to be thick. There are not tons of layers. It just has a nice reflection. See, even the steaming still evaporated pretty quickly. So this is end result when I'm going for a mirror shine. This is what I'm looking for. Now, I worked on these Santonis a little bit last night while watching a movie. This is the step before that. So I just worked on them last night. I pretty much built up a base, did a few stages of swirling, mostly black paste. So that's our paste wax polish. It still has some conditioning oils in it, but it sticks to the leather a little bit better because it's got a higher ratio of carnauba and higher ratio of beeswax to carnauba than directly to high shine. High shine is like straight carnauba wax, super stiff. It's for finishing off that mirror, getting that final mirror shine. The black paste, however, adds that. I wrote a blog post a while back about lensing and shading. So black paste adds a nice burnishing to these Santonis. I know I need to add a little bit of cream at the top. I was really focusing on the toes to be able to do a nice live stream today because people often ask me about the mirror shine. It's the most elusive technique. Worked on the heels as well. Now, when you're using, I guess, I'll take a step back. When people often ask about color application and what goes in, I'm using black wax on these to be able to get the shading on the toe, but yet it doesn't, necessarily, I use black wax on the heels as well. It doesn't necessarily change the color of the leather because it's pigment, right? Pigment stays embedded within the wax. It doesn't really embed itself in the leather. You need to use dye if you're really trying to get like a patina. So a patina done with polish looks different than a patina done with dye. I like to keep things, colored with my products as much as possible, so I like to show what it does when I'm using those products. All these shoes are seriously heavily used, very beat up. Some have been restored from off the shelves of estate sales, and I like to go out and grab all the decent leather I can find in my area and just restore it, bring it back, hand it over to friends and family, people who don't normally do that. Sometimes they just do it just to show techniques. So we've got, as I said, got these churches, which, the difference, let's see, try not to focus too much on one screen over another. So these churches, they've got that final glassy stage. These Santonis are close, but when I fog it up, it still has a little bit of like grain I can see, so it can still continue. I would continue from this stage forward on the Santonis with the high shine, a mirror gloss product, almost it's clear, stiff waxes. With this one, I feel relatively done. I can be sometimes kind of lazy about my mirror shines. I could go forever, but I really like to play around with different techniques, different usages. So then I've got these boots. This is what I call just a standard, paste shine. There's no mirror to it. In fact, I didn't even brush these off today. Use a long horsehair brush. I have no problem brushing this because I'm not worried about buffing. There's no glassy look to it. This was just paste. There was no high shine used on this. You know, some people like to stop at this point, and the point of doing this, right, it protects it from, I scuff my toes all the time. So, okay, so Pastor Ernest Lightsey, purepolishproducts.com, local retail stores. We're trying to go worldwide, but you know, check out our website. That's where you get the products. So the black paste, the black wax, I think I used Burgundy and some black on these ones, but it protects the toe from scuffing. When I drive, I scuff my toes all the time. Same with heels. But it doesn't need to go up to this level of shine. I'm not trying to do that. These Chopper boots, I mean, look how big that heel is. This is designed specifically for like safety of being in stirrups of a horse. We've got a lot of that around here in Bend. We've got kind of this Wild West meets tech in this area, so it's a great place for us to be doing pure polish. Hey Levi, hey everybody. By the way, I haven't stopped to say hi to everybody. It's wonderful to see everybody's home and tuning in. I mean, this is a perfect time to work on techniques, right? That's what I've been doing. It's just playing around. Last night I was on videos just looking at people's techniques for when they're preparing show cars, right? They also use carnauba wax when they're waxing down cars. The glissage of candy, pouring chocolate. So I just wanted to kind of buff up for when I'm talking with everybody about my techniques, what I use, as well as what it's great to learn from other domains. This is just paste polish. I'm not going for a mirror. A mirror would look kind of strange on these boots. You know, you can walk around in these, you can ride horses in these. So these are more show, based off of the size of the heel block here, and then the angle that we've got, the pitch there. It's safety. It's for being in a stirrup. That's the point of these. But it was wonderful leather that I got to work on and just kind of show some different techniques. So yeah, so different levels. We've just here. This, it's just, you know, you keep it conditioned, right? So the products I use on this, just you keep your leather conditioned. You always want it to last you a lifetime. So if you keep the leather conditioned, you replace the oils. All oils go oxidized over time, replacing those oils. Cream polish helps protect it and restore color, and adds a little bit of a glow. And paste wax helps for behavior, you know, scuffing, toes, heels. That's pretty much like leather care in a nutshell of what I, you know, typically recommend to people. If you want to go further and you're trying to get your products to look photo ready, you know, you go the next stage. You start adding water. You can spritz with a little spritzer. You can start buffing with a cloth. All of this can be done completely with a brush and be done in like 5 minutes. I typically brush them off at the end of a day. And we're in colder weather. There's actually like 3 new inches of snow outside. So I sometimes brush them off at the beginning of the day. It warms up the leather, melts the waxes, gets it ready for the elasticity of the foot and ankle that's going into it. So think about that. Leather used to be skin. Well, it is skin. You've got grain and the corium connector point, the pores. Now you just brush it. I mean, you just keep a good brush like this in your closet nearby where your shoes are stored or wherever they are. It warms up the leather, opens up the pores, melts the wax. Like there's no mirror shine, but it's protected. You know, the leather's going to last a lifetime. It's conditioned. It's got its color, protected from scuffing. So anyway, technique. This was the point of this, was to show from stages, right? This is basic, can be done with a brush. It's been conditioned. It's got paste wax on toes and heels. This is the next step. I pretty much only used black paste and wax, but I did start using some water. So I did start spritzing it. Let me take a minute here and grab some of my products. Okay, I'll show you. It's the Pure Polish black paste wax. Pure Polish high shine paste wax. Like I said, this one's like the finishing one. This is how you go for the mirror shine, the final product. black paste one is how you get to this. It's also the everyday protection on toes and heels. Typically, no matter what company you're working with, whether you're working with Pure Polish, Saphir, Griffin, Angelus Direct, we all typically have categories of what type of products we offer. There's usually conditioners, there's cleaners, there's strippers, there's creams, water-resistant products, there's paste, and then there's mirror shining products. They all serve different purposes. Some of them have the same base. We here at Pure Polish use all natural, non-toxic orange oil, coconut oil, beeswax, carnauba wax, earth pigments, because we like to apply things with our fingers. We don't want to worry what gets absorbed. There's no chemical dyes or whatever. So not worrying about what goes into the body, not worrying about the leather, plus keeping the leather conditioned. When you're using your different products, it's good to know what the stages are for. Cream is great for restoring color. It's great for everyday using on flexing leathers. So this one has some creases, but leather creases over time. So I would just use cream in the uppers, the vamped. Cream everywhere throughout, and then use paste for protection against behavior, and then high shine, mirror shine for getting the glossy look. Whether we're using Pure Polish or another company's products, that's what the stages would be for leather care. And then if you're going for look, you're working on like high shine. This is why it gets a lot of show. We show it off on our photos a lot because it's easy to show as a final show. It makes a shoe look really good. It attracts people. They think, oh, that's beautiful. I want to be able to make my shoe look like that. That's why high shine gets a lot of love. However, our best-selling product is cleaner conditioner. It's neutral. I always give myself seconds, so like when lids fall off or stickers are going bad. This is why it's funny. The owner always gets. It's like the cobbler's kids' shoes thing. This cleans when you use it on a really thick cotton cloth. It's neutral, so there's no color that goes through it. It's used on accessories, handbags, belts, purses, boots, shoes, everything. This is why it's our best-selling product. People love it here on couches, car seats. This is the base, right? I mean, if you keep your leather conditioned, it's going to last a long time. It doesn't crack on you. We live in a very dry climate here. It's not very humid, so people's leather often dries out over time. If it's going to dry out and if it cracks, that's when it has permanent damage to it. So you keep it conditioned first. Okay. So that's the conditioning point. The cream. I also realize I'm rushing through this. I'm super tenuous about video, so if you guys just bear with me. I'm really used to doing photographs and being behind the camera. I do that every single day, but being on video is different for me. So that's why I don't do a lot of this. But I felt today was a great opportunity for people who want to buff up their techniques, learn how to differentiate between the different products. So anyway, so cream polish is what you use on all flexing leathers. It won't crack when you flex, when the leather stretches, when you're stepping up and down stairs. Cream protects it from scuffing, so that if you scuff on something, it scuffs the polish and not the leather as much. Paste does an additional protective layer on top of that. That's the paste. We differentiate ours by the little star. We have some additional packaging that's coming out to better differentiate the two. But paste wax polish is for behavioral protection on toes and heels, only on, so paste, next step, it's only on non-flexing leathers, toes, heels. Because if you put paste wax polish higher up, it's got a higher carnauba wax content in it, it will crack and look like a candle, just kind of like a broken candle. So Okay, so we've got a few different people are joining us. Hi, everybody. It's funny, it offers me, like wave, wave, hi. Um, uh, okay, so the goal was to show the difference in stages here of the mirror shine, high shine process, and regular shine. So regular shine, kind of high shine. I'll show you for those that are new. Hey, welcome from Mexico. And then mirror shine. Okay, so my most, I guess I would say, versatile cloth is this flannel. Matches my shirt today. It's soft. It's cotton. It's thick, so it absorbs. So it allows me to dab into the product without worrying about grabbing too much. Now, I typically like to use my fingers for the base few layers, but if I'm going to be buffing, I like to use a thicker flannel cloth. So I spritz, I go like 6 inches away, just spritz it. Now, when I'm trying to just see where the leather is at this point, I'm not even using any product, right? A clean section of cloth, spritz of water. Yeah, I'm gonna try and find the best position. Oh geez, this isn't even on the, I guess my phone slipped. Let me, huh, how did that happen? Ah, oh, that's funny. I'll have to cut this out of the video. It reversed the cameras on me without even touching it. Gotta love that one. Maybe I'm only supposed to go live for so long. I don't know. I'm new to this going live thing. Okay, so it was just a spritz of water. Can you guys all see that? I guess that was funny. I don't know how long it was on that. Did you guys see it for a little bit? Okay, so I just used a spritz of water. I'm just kind of checking to see how it responds. If the water stays on top, then I know that it's got a carnauba wax that's pretty solid. So when I do that same process on the final Mirror Shine product, the water will bead up a little bit more. Again, 6 inches away, spritzed on a clean area of cloth. Now I'm doing circles. Some people recommend like an S movement. If you look at all the show car stuff, they always do S movement for the final buff. So the water beaded up, but it's still rubbed in. So that tells me that there's some imperfections, some absorption still. But there's no product, right? This was just testing to see how water responds to the layer. This tells me how thick my base is. Do I need to continue to work on the base? Do I need to further work on buffing? If the water continues to just get absorbed like immediately, so when you spritz it on here and then you buff it, and the water just goes, it just gets sucked right in, then you know you have to continue buffing. Add some more water. You're working on the buffing layer. You still have too much wax, solvent, too much stuff on the surface. But if the water kind of stays there and it takes a little while to press in, then you know you're getting closer to that final mirror stage. So as I said, I used that's the black cream, black paste, wax polish to get to this stage. Now to continue, I'd use the high shine. We have the base was built with the paste. Hi Jem, see you joined. I'm trying to stay like on top of who's here. I'm filming this on 2 cameras so that I can save this video. And my computer just fell asleep. So this will be interesting. I'm gonna try and save this so I can upload it to YouTube. So typically, behind the camera for photography, I don't usually do videos. I like to inspire more, less teach, because there are so many techniques and so many beautiful ways of doing this. But today I'm going to try and show you what I typically do. So, so we've built up the base with the paste polish. Now we're going for the high shine for the final buff. What I typically do, single spritz about 6 inches away. That just makes sure that this has some dampness to it. It's going to grab some of the high shine. I put some water droplets in here. And now, as I said, I just did a wipe down on the toe to see how water responded. It made sure that the base was there because the water didn't get evaporated immediately. But if I'm going for that final glissage, that final mirror shine aspect, I'm going to take a droplet of water. And when I say droplet, I mean like, seriously, a droplet. I press. I don't smear, I don't grab, I don't swirl in the tin. I press. Now, see, you can't even see any product on there. I can't even see any product on there. But what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the surface solvents, because that's what most of this is. Most of the final part of a mirror shine. So here's a trick, a tip for you all. Reflection is based off of the underlying surface and lack of occlusions in the top of the surface. So often it is just simply being able to have a perfectly smooth surface. That's why you know, a cap toe is often easy. A brand new cap toe with no occlusions, no surface marring. So when I'm pressing, I just press, right? Just press in the tin. I'm grabbing the solvents. The carnauba wax is helping with the layer. Hey, Ricky. Hey, everybody from all over the world. This is great. What I'm doing is I am buffing. I'm trying to reduce see, the water droplet is still there. That means that my base is good. So the water didn't just get sucked right in. So I pressed in, grabbed the solvents, grabbed the stiff wax. Now, what I do is circular. I do typically 2 circles around the cap, and if there's still a little bit of water, I can still see a little bit. Press. I don't grab, just press. See, you can't even see any product. However, when I put it on, you can still see some fogging. You see, there's a little bit of fogging. See, that's solvent and like milligram of carnauba wax, because that's what I'm doing, right? I went from a nice high shine point of black paste wax to I'm getting that final buff. You want to get like a glassy, super glassy, photography ready shine. Well, you're grabbing very tiny amounts. So like I said, it went slightly foggy. Okay, slightly foggy. Now I wiped till the fog was away. See, we got a nice shine here. Show both cameras, posterity's sake. Okay. Did I use any visible product? No. I mean, like, it was very tiny. I'm just grabbing the solvent. I'm grabbing a tiny bit of wax. I'm putting it on there, just a single droplet of water. See how little it takes? What you're doing is you're removing occlusions in the surface. You're gaining reflection. So, again, I'm going to do the same with the other one. I mean, see, there's already a difference. I will show you. That was what? Like literally 2 seconds of application. See, there's a little bit of it. See how, so this is the one I just worked on. And this is the one I'm about to work on. See how there's a little bit of a difference already in level of shine? Okay, that's like that amount. So you don't have to use a ton. You have good products, smooth application, boom. You're using the solvent to help evaporate the base surface layer. You're adding carnauba wax to help replace it with a little bit of stiffness, and then you're getting that reflection. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Okay, so I just spritzed this, but I'm going to do it again because it feels a little dry to my finger. Okay, about 6 to 8 inches away. I did 2 droplets there. See, 2 droplets of water. That camera's not picking up the droplets of water very well. Okay. I'm pressing into the wax. Just press, right? I'm not grabbing anything. I press. See, like almost no product. But when you put it on, See, I did 2 full swirls, or 2 full things. You can still see a little bit of fogging. A little bit. Press again. Very delicate, you know? This doesn't take a ton. You're not trying to put, build up wax on your leather. You want your leather to show through. You want to show off the beauty of the leather. See? Getting some nice reflections. He's got that like liquidy look. Boom. That's due to lack of occlusions in the surface. Okay. I'll do another single droplet. Boom. Single droplet. So, when I get to this point, I mean, sometimes I just stop. I can be a little lazy about continuing forward, right? I don't really go for show shines. I'm not trying to do that. But I'll just get to where, okay, so I'm pressed in the wax, boom, just pressed, no smear, no grab. Okay, about 2 surface swirls. You can still see a little bit of fogging. See that there's a little bit of fogging in that surface there? Show both cameras. Okay, so what I sometimes do at this point is I'll just like steam it up with my breath. I'll go. Now I look for like areas, dead spots. I look for, oh wow, there's total grain showing through. And sometimes the fog in your breath, there's moisture in there too. You can just use that to buff without even putting a whole droplet of water on. Okay, so the number one mistake I find at this point is people using too much product. Okay, mirror shine. I mean, it can keep getting better, but it's pretty good, right? Number one problem is people use too much product. Number 2 problem is they're not building up the base first. So what would happen if I didn't build up the base first? If I didn't build up the base, well, when I put the water droplet on, it would sink straight through to the leather. Well, that's not going to be any good because that's just going to saturate the leather. It's not going to build up any sort of stuff on the surface for look and feel. It's just going to be absorbed. So when I say build up a base, I don't mean like go smear a ton of product on, because that's not what you're trying to do either. You're trying to get a very smooth surface. So you're layering, you got cream, because grain it's got layers, it's got pores. So you're putting the cream in, and then it's conditioned. You make sure it's not tacky. Whenever I finish with cream, I'll show you what I do with cream. Okay. My Burgundy cream polish. I'll use that on these. So what I do with cream, after it's in, because you put the cream into the pores, into the grain, you rub it in. You don't want it to be tacky. If it's still tacky, it's also gonna suck in water. It's not gonna be able to build anything up. You also don't want to walk around with it being tacky. It's gonna pull dust and dirt into your leather. That's not good. So what I do with cream, and this is cream with our products, this is cream with anybody's products, right? I get a tiny bit. See how little that is? Right? Because I've already conditioned it. I know that the leather's conditioned. This is more for just ensuring that it's smooth and that it's protected and that the color is good. So I'm going to put some cream. I mean, these shoes are pretty good, but it could maybe use a little cream up here on the vamp. Okay, I'm swirling it in. Swirling helps make sure it gets absorbed. So I've got, see how it's all foggy, right? But that was just that little fingertip, right? It's very little left on my finger. But it's been swirled and then I like to go across, because grain has direction as well. Leather has direction. I realize as I look at this, I'm showing you guys like the sole of the shoe a ton. I'm not trying to do that. Don't have a professional movie studio here. As you can see, I'm actually in our manufacturing room. Okay, so I go forward and back, because what I'm doing is I'm ensuring that it gets absorbed into the leather. I mean, you don't want product like sitting on the surface, only for protection and only for beautiful show mirror stuff do you want something on the surface. So I'm pressing it in. I'm making sure it gets absorbed. So it's just my finger. It's already mostly absorbed. So here's what I do. I usually take a shorter horsehair brush. So I'll show you compared to the long horsehair brush. Dun, dun, dun. Dad, baby. Okay, so I take the horsehair brush. What I do is I use about 60% down pressure, 40% through pressure. See how I'm going in one direction. I switch the direction. Boom. That's it. I'm trying to press the product. M. Shusudi, how many colors do we have? 9 colors across our different products, our cream, our paste, our water resistant. High Shine is clear. Our clear conditioner is clear. The typical, we got like 4 browns, black, white, burgundy, navy blue. We have a forest green that's kind of a limited edition, and we're making some custom colors for our wholesale people. That's soon to be announced. Okay, so I used the baby brush, the short horsehair brush, to kind of, I said 60% down pressure, 40% through pressure, press the cream into it. Okay, it's in, it's good, it's smooth. That's what we want for the vamp. It protects the upper. It's not going to crack when the leather stretches when we walk upstairs. Cream is all we want to be able to put on the flexing leather areas. But I'm not done. This is what I do right here. If you walk out of your house with a shoe that's just done this, it's going to attract dust and dirt because it's still a little bit sticky and tacky on the top. I showed you how little product I used, but it will still be sticky and tacky. So I'm going to take my cloth, spritz it, again, 6 to 8 inches away. I'm not pushing in very hard, maybe 20% down pressure with this, very, very little. I'm wiping across the surface. And see, I didn't pick up anything. But what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that there's no excess product. I go across the surface like once, maybe twice. Very, very simple cleanup process. The goal is also the moisture fights against the solvent and the wax and helps seal it in. But it also makes sure it's not sticky and tacky and pulling dust and dirt into the product. Okay, so now I grab the daddy brush, right? The long horsehair brush. And so I did short horsehair brush for pushing it in, 1 spritz of water and clean up. And now I'm using a long horsehair brush as a buff. Now I'm using like 30 to 40% through pressure. Sorry, 30 to 40% down pressure, maybe less than that, 20%. Mostly through pressure. I'm just making sure that the waxes are melted, that it's pulling out a nice glow. So that was the application of the cream, right? It's got a nice soft glow to it. It's protected. That's what I do across the whole shoe, but these shoes have already got a mirror on the toe, so I'm not going to put cream on top. So that's my process, right? Very little product. It's made sure it's conditioned, made sure it's protected, made sure the color's consistent. It's not going to be sticky on the surface. You're not pulling dust and dirt in, and you're getting you're building up your base. Okay. I've been answering a few questions. Hi to everybody who's new, who's just joining in. I'm also videoing this so that I can hopefully save it for posterity's sake to put on YouTube. Showing the difference in shines of kind of routine shine, kind of just protect it with paste. There's no mirror attempt. Now these were a little less mirrory, but I just did 1 quick round of high shine, so they're a little more mirrory. I mean, yeah, I can keep going, but as I showed you, I did 1 droplet of water and 2 dabs of high shine. So they're a little more mirrory. And then we've got this one here, which is a little bit more mirrory. It's glass. When I rub my finger across it, it feels like you're rubbing it across a literal mirror or literal glass. I showed the application of cream, of how we put it in, the difference in the brushes. Okay, I have one more brush and one more thing I show. This is a goat hair brush. So you guys know the difference between all the different hairs. So a boar's hair brush is stiffer. Boar's hair brush is sometimes what I use for pushing in the cream. If I'm working on like a heavy boot, bull hide, something that really needs a lot of restoration, you can use a boar hair brush to sometimes knock out the, oh, thanks, Jim. And my mom has joined. Wonderful. Hi, Mom. And so a boar's hair brush will warm up the leather, knock dust and dirt out, push it in, and so the next step up from that is horsehair. Horsehair is softer. And the reason why we use natural hairs is hairs don't build up static electricity. It doesn't pull anything out of the leather. Synthetic hairs, it builds up static electricity and pulls as opposed to smooths, pushes, and melts the waxes. So then when you have horsehair, you have different lengths, different sizes. See the length of the bristles on this one and the length of the bristles on this one. They're different. So the longer bristles are smoother. They're more for buffing, more for melting the waxes. These shorter ones are good for, as I showed, pushing it in, still making sure it's brushed. You're not pulling anything, you're pushing it in. But the next step is the goat hair, the softest. What I use this for, some people, Japanese, sometimes use it with a spritz of water in an application sake. I don't use it for application because I find that I get less marring when I'm just using a really soft flannel cloth. But when I wear all these shoes, so at least the ones I don't give away, when I'm wearing my Mirror Shine shoes out in rustic Wild West meets Tech Bend, sometimes you end up with some scuff, some dirt, some of the day. So I'll keep this in the closet, and it's a good way to just smooth down the Mirror Shine without needing it's semi-stiffer, but nice and smooth. You don't have to worry about it removing the full gleam. It's not what I would use for a final show shine, but it's great for in-between days because I like to keep a Mirror Shine on my shoes, and this just kind of allows for it as I put them in the closet. I'll brush it off at the end of the day, the uppers and the vamps, and then boom, I've got the toe cap and the heels. I'll just hit with the goat hair, keep it smooth. Okay, so often the point people struggle from is going from here, this shine, the regular maintenance, put on paste, brush it in, call it done, going from here to here. This is often the struggle point. That's building the base. That's not, often. Woo! That was wonderful. Wouldn't this be great? Get concussed in the middle of filming a video. You guys all watched it here. Okay. I'm using white here. As you can see, this is clearly a professional movie studio. I'm using this here to make sure it gets all the light because, as I said, I'm in manufacturing room of pure polish, and I am just trying to make sure it pulls in enough light so you can see the nuances of the reflection of the shoes that I have here. So anyway, fun little accident there. Okay, so the difference in these stages is often not in a lack of buffing. Hey, Chris, but in a lack of base. So you've not added the base layer properly. Because as you saw, like my buffing with the high shine was really quick, a dab of product, you swirl it around, it's done. But in building that base, I do it with a paste polish. I don't do it with the high shine because the paste polish adds the additional color depth. It also sticks, as I said, sticks to the leather a little bit better because paste wax polish, which I'll show you. So I realize the letters are in reverse here. Oh, and my computer turned off again. Here. I appreciate you guys being patient with me with a whiteboard falling on my head and having to turn my computer back on all the time. But anyway, paste wax polish. Letters are in reverse on Instagram. Paste wax polish. So the difference. This has, see, it's okay. I'm gonna spill some water off this. So here's high shine, paste wax polish, high shine, paste wax polish. Differences, now not just pure polish, but other products. Differences are that paste wax polish still has a little bit of conditioning oil and a higher beeswax, carnauba wax, or in other companies' cases, soft wax to stiff wax ratio. So that allows for a little bit more stickiness and allows for building up your base as you're getting ready to build that final buffing gleam. Because theoretically, you want the least amount of layers on top of your leather as possible. You want to show off your leather. But paste wax polish still sticks to the cream, bind to the grains because it's got those stickier waxes. Whereas if you go straight to a high shine or mirror shine neutral product, sometimes it doesn't stick as well, and so your base doesn't build up quite as well. So, you know, you keep your leather conditioned. You've got your cream, which fills in a little bit of the pores in the grain. Again, we make sure it's smooth with the brush. We make sure that it's not tacky. Then you've got your paste wax polish on top because you're adding the stiff waxes and the, but you know, it's higher stiff waxes and soft waxes than cream, but paste wax, and then you go for the final buff with the high shine. So building that base. Let's see here. I guess I'll just might as well do it on a shoe. Like I said, this is at this standard stage. This was all done with a brush. I'll build a base. Isn't there a song all about that base? Well, if you're a mirror shiner, you're all about that base. See how I'm brushing first? I'm using the long horsehair brush. I'm actually doing some, I guess I should be explaining what I'm doing, right? Sometimes talking and doing at the same time is a little tricky. I'm warming up the pores. I'm making sure that the current layer is melted and smooth and not tacky. It's making sure there's no, I do have a little bit of fogging as I do this on the rear. That means that there was probably an excess amount of base created, but I'll show you. Okay, so I'm going to do this with a black paste wax polish. So this is standard. This is with a brush, just paste. It's for everyday protection. These are roper boots. People use them when riding horses. Got the nice block heel. If I'm going to scuff my toe while riding my horse, well, this is the boot to have, or rather, this is the way to use your products. Anybody think this is funny? I don't know. Okay. So as I said, I give myself all the seconds. So I've got some nice black paste palette polish. It's the same product as you guys are using, but press. I'm not grabbing. I'm just gonna press. See how little product is on my finger? I mean, you know, I know I'm showing my finger to a camera. This is wonderful, right? But very little bit. But that's okay. Because as you get higher and higher, you're not trying to use lots of product. You've already filled in the pores, or you've already filled in the grain. You're trying to really just build up that layer. That's right, a little dab will do you. Okay, so I'm gonna go across. I'm gonna do this directionally. I'll just show you how I do it. There are lots of methods to do this, but I'm gonna go across. I like to start in the middle because I like, you know, reflection often goes from the top down. Now these are scuffed shoes, so these aren't going to be perfect. There's a chip taken out of the toe. These are old, but we're going to build up a base on it. Okay, so I pressed into the black paste. Well, it might have evaporated a little bit in my finger. Not much got on there. Just press. See how I'm going straight across? Well, as I said before, grain has direction. I'm trying to build up a base. I'm not trying to swirl. This isn't a buff. This is an application. One direction straight across. See how it looks all foggy and directional and streaky and all the bad things that you don't want to get in a final shine? Yeah, that's okay. So I did that single dab. See how my finger's already almost totally clean from that single dab. And now I'm going to go down. Why am I going down? Well, I'm pressing it into the grain. I'm building up a base, pressing it in. I'm not trying to buff it. I'm trying to build up layers. Okay, can you already see how, look, can you see that? See that? It's already getting that glossy. I just did, what did I do? One direction with my paste polish finger. See? Okay. As I said before, most people use way too much product. I mean, I'm still using product that I personally made like a year ago. And I know maybe that's not the best thing to say for sales, but really, like, if you've got a perfectly pure product, like, you know, a little bit of solvent, a little bit of all the right waxes, just a little bit of pigment, you're not trying to like build it up with sticky stuff. You're not trying to add wax. Leather is beautiful and amazing and versatile. All you're trying to do is take care of leather's weak spots. Boom. Leather needs to stay conditioned so it doesn't dry out and crack on you. Boom, leather color fades over time. So you use colored product to keep the color restored and nice. Sometimes you do scratch it, and so the color helps keep the color, keep it consistent. Behavior. You're actually walking around and using these boots and shoes. So you need to protect the toes and heels. I always scuff my toes while driving, so you're protecting it. Because that way I'm not scuffing the toes in the leather, I'm scuffing the polish, and it takes it out of the polish, and then the leather stays protected. So then when you go for the ultimate shine, it's really just a little bit on top of these, because if you're adding a ton of product on top of what you're doing, then you're kind of doing the opposite of proper leather care. Like we don't want to smother our leather. We don't want to close off the pores. The minute you close off the pores, now you're making a rancid environment. Your feet sweat. You have like 50,000 sweat glands in your foot. So when your foot sweats so much, it has to be able to evaporate. That includes the toe box, right? So if you're putting silicone-based products, or if you're sealing it off with too much product, well, you're impacting that evaporation. So I always recommend go for thinner layers and work on the shine rather than put on thick layers and get the shine and potentially create a rancid environment or a bad pH environment, a lack of evaporation environment. You know, with your foot sweating, if the sweat doesn't get out, well then you know, you've got some potential issues with rot from the inside. You know, funky boot smell. Well, the sweat hasn't evaporated. You use cedar trees. You brush them at the end, you let the leather evaporate, boom, that's good leather care, okay? That's what we're all about here at Pure Polish. Make your leather last a lifetime, be good for you, be good for the planet, be good for your leather. The mirror shine just happens to be like an extra added benefit, okay? So I'm gonna show you how to do this mirror shine, like this base, but it's really, you know, maintaining good leather care. Okay. Any questions so far? I've got the live feed right here. I've got the video here. I'm going to try and save for posterity. Okay, so I've built up a small base. It's already starting to get a little bit glistening. However, it's not a total perfect base, because if I put a droplet of water right now, the droplet of water is still going to probably sink through. So that was one like dab. I did directionally across, directionally down, just my finger, no brush, nothing else. Sometimes what I do here to make sure that it's melted is I will take the daddy brush, the long horsehair brush again, and make sure that it's buffed. You know, this would probably be a good occasion for I could use this, but you know, that's black polish. I don't really want to get black on the goat hair brush if I'm going to be using that for mirror shines. So very light, maybe like 5 or 10% down pressure. Okay, so I'm just brushing because I'm building up that base. Okay. I'm going to do another dab. I press my finger into, I guess I need to make sure you guys can see this. Press my finger into the wax. I'm not getting a ton, very little bit, very little bit. Now I did a cross to start and then down to finish last time. I'm going to do the opposite this time. I'm going to start across. Now I'm starting at the front, but I always start in the middle. I like to start in the middle. Okay, Again, remember, see it's a little streaky, it's a little foggy, that's okay. I'm building up a base, I'm pressing it into the grain. Across, now I'm going to go down. Down. Thank you for those who are watching, by the way. You know, I really appreciate it. I mean, the point of this is to help answer a lot of questions. I get questions every single day on how to do this, and sometimes I can't answer them all, or, you know, it's not all in one knowledge base, but I think doing this kind of offers a group format where I can answer a lot of questions at once, as to also like just what I do, not just what everybody does. But so just on my finger, see how it's already getting kind of liquidy, mirror shine? This is that base. Remember all about that base? I'll show you the difference. So I did, remind, dab, direction across, direction down, and dab, direction down, then across, one of the other, reverse. I'll show you. Okay, can you see the difference? Maybe. I mean, I haven't added any water yet, so. But you wouldn't want to add water yet. If you add water too early, it just goes straight into your leather. Like, there's no point in adding water. You got to build up that base. Okay, so that's a little bit of, you know, building up directionally, crisscrossing. I did it with the brush. Now, if I fog it up, I can see directionally across. I can still see some grain. So I'm going to do it one more time. Okay. Press. Again, this is black paste wax polish. Very thin layer. I'm going to go across, focusing on this, that this is the side that I can see some grain on. Building up that base. I'm not smearing a ton of product. I'm just trying to make sure it's evenly spread across the surface. Now I'm going down, down. And again, this goes much faster when you're not like talking to an audience. You can do this, you can build up this base in the span of a couple minutes. It doesn't take long. Okay. And the side that's still, yeah, it's starting to get there. See, I still have some fogginess, but I'm not trying to buff it yet. If I buff it too early, like I said, you add moisture, it just kind of breaks through the wax. I'm just trying to make sure that it's spread across evenly. Now you can see, again, it's streaky because I haven't buffed it yet. I haven't reached that high shine, but you can see the reflections. Let's show both cameras. Okay. So this is building up that base. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I would do to kind of finish off the base part. I've got my flannel cloth, soft flannel cloth, a clean area, putting it around 2 fingers. I pull the top down, I twist around the back. That's why I make it long. I wrap it around my hand. I guess, you know, maybe this is the whole technique to all of it, learning how to tie the cloth. Okay, so it's tight. If you have marring or wrinkles in your cloth, you marring on your wax. So knowing how to tie the cloth. See, I've got a... Okay, so got that 6 to 8 inches away. I spritz it. I still have my little dish of water droplets, so I'll just use that. So I've spritzed it. I've done the layers of the base. I'm finishing up the base here. This isn't the point where I would call that I'm doing a mirror shine, but this is still working on that base area. I'm going to take a single droplet of water, place it on the toe, show you. single droplet. There you go. Now you can see it. That camera just doesn't pick up droplets of water. I'm going to press into my wax. Just press lightly. See, very little product, but press lightly. Now I'm going to take right where the droplet of water is, and I'm going to go circularly. So I went around the toe cap about twice. It still has a little bit of fogging, but what I'm trying to do is get rid of the streaking and make sure that the base is smoothly on the toe. So the water got absorbed pretty quickly. Now whether it got absorbed by the cloth, by the wax, by the leather, it's hard to tell at this point, so that's why you kind of do this a couple times. Move the other products out of the way. Okay, droplet of water on the toe cap. Now I have a process here where what I will do is I will often do what I call a 6-point base. I will put a droplet of water, I will start, but it's good to just have a procedure so you know you're doing the same thing each time. I'll start at the top right, bottom left, top right, middle top, bottom top, kind of a clockwise. And then I do the same 2 strokes around. So light dab into the paste wax polish, like you can barely see any product. I go circularly around the toe cap twice. Okay, bottom right. Yeah, I didn't grab a droplet of water from my finger there. It's not coming up. Okay, dab into the paste wax polish. 2 swirls around. That's going to get a little foggy this time. Bottom left, droplet of water, press in the paste wax polish. See, I'm not grabbing. I mean, see, this isn't black. And I'm using black paste wax polish. Swirl. Swirl. Droplet on the top left. Press, just dab. Paste wax polish, black. Swirl. Swirl. Drop a little water in the middle. Now this does 2 things. It's building that base and it's starting the buffing process. But it's just keeping a procedure. This is my procedure. I came up with it. It's just what works for me. Swirl. Swirl twice. I'm going to come back around with just water to make sure it's buffed, but I'm building up that swirly, ensuring that that base is built. Now occasionally I'll look at the cloth, and if I picked up, you just knock those flakes off, because you don't want to like accidentally grab a chunk and then like, oh no, you just like marred it. You got to like buff it all over again. So you watch it. You make sure you're just grabbing dust, like little dabs. Swirl. Swirl. Okay. All right, so now see how it's foggy? But I've built up that base. I did two to three times of just stripe down. Now I'm doing the swirl. Now here's where I do the final layer of what I call of the base. Let me get a couple more water droplets in my tin because I seem to have not grabbed a ton. Okay, I'm going to still use this cloth that's touched, you know, the paste wax polish, the 6-point dab and swirl method. That's what I call it. That's kind of what me and Mr. Renworks Ton up in Portland call it, the dab and swirl. Like you're just dabbing, swirling. So we've built up this base, okay? So, oh no, it tells me I got 5 seconds remaining on live. I guess I'll have to go back live, okay? So if you guys want to join me again, it's about to... No. Okay, so this video is seeing what's happening. I'm going to go live again. Oh, and then my computer dies. This is just wonderful. not dies, but the battery turned off. Okay, so I've been recording for like an hour. Wow, this is amazing. I'll have to split it into shorter videos. Okay, I'm back live again. So for those of you that were in the middle of watching, I stopped. I didn't proceed forward. Hey, Mom. Hey, everybody who's joining back. Okay, so I stopped the procedure. I didn't want to proceed forward without people missing anything. So I'm going to show, I'm finishing up building a base, because that's usually the process in which people struggle, going from a regular just protective shine with a brush to building up to a glossy mirror shine, is that base layer. So, okay. So I'm going to finish what I was doing. So I just did, I'll catch up what I did. I did a 6-point dab and swirl around the toe of this. It's a little foggy. That's okay. I'm finishing up that base. Now I'm going to do 6 points with just water. I'm not adding any additional product. So this is really buffing. It's making sure it's not going to be sticky. It's making sure it's not going to be foggy. And it's ensuring that the water is able to sit on top and not just get absorbed. I'm watching it, and I'm making sure that the leather isn't just soaking up water, because if it soaks up water, then you don't have a base. You can't do a mirror shine if your leather's still soaking up water. So I added some more water into the tin. I'm going to do a droplet. Again, 6-point mat at the top right. You know, sometimes when I'm in this process, because it's about buffing, I'll do it 3 times around. It's also a lot faster. You're not adding any wax. So there's 3 times around. Bottom right. I'm using a single droplet of water. 2, 3. Bottom left. Droplet. 1, 2, 3. Top left. Single droplet. 1, 2, 3. Top middle. Put the droplet on. 1, 2, 3. Bottom middle. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, one of the things I was noticing as I'm finishing this off is, the water was starting to stay on the surface a little bit longer. That's good. That's exactly what you want. It means you're spreading the waxes. It means that you've built up your base properly. You can get started. Because we're trying to show the difference between this, which is, I showed you a nice slice on the side of that one. Normal shine, normal paste that can be added with a typical brush, going up to building up a base, to a decent mirror shine, to a super glassy mirror shine, if that's what you're going for. So we built up that base. We did the 6-point dab and swirl with wax, and then we did the 6-point dab and swirl with water. I'll show you how I finish off the base, because we're all about that base. Twisted it into the back, wrap it around my hand. I'm going to spritz it 6 to 8 inches away. Clean area of the cloth, no wax, single droplet of water. Now see how, look, you can see water drops, see. That's okay. It's beading up. That means that the carnauba wax is working. It's not soaking into the beeswax or into the leather. I'm going to do a final buff. I'm swirling it all the way around. And then I can do steam up with my breath. See, steam up with the breath. I'm just swirling it around. This is the final part of the base. Okay, now this is where I would call the base done. You know, I haven't buffed everything, but it's got a nice base to be able to build up a mirror shine. You know that it's taking water. You know that you can start adding high shine. This was just done with paste wax polish, black paste polish. I'll show you. Black paste wax, pure polish. It's got the beeswax, carnauba wax, coconut oil, pigment. It sticks to the leather. It has now added a layer on top of cream. You know, it's conditioned cream for color and a little bit of protection. Carnauba wax, beeswax, protection on top of the paste. Now it's been sealed in with the water and the buffing and the swirling. I have ensured that it has created this base shell layer. Now, if I was to proceed forward, I would use the High Shine product, as I showed you earlier. Oh, I've got droplets. I don't want to try and drop the droplets. Pure Polish High Shine product, which is almost pure carnauba base and the solvent orange oil, which then adds for that super glassy look. So that's building up a base. Hopefully that answers the question. So from here, it's buffing and high shine. It's simple dabs. Water, you can show your own processes. You can test it around, work on it. Yeah, if there are any questions, let me know. I'm glad you guys were able to join. And we've got a few new people joining this now because the connection just dropped a little bit earlier. But I will try and save this video. It's like an hour long or something now, so I may have to split it into pieces and upload it. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. And yeah, any questions? Thank you. Appreciate it.